Well, cool. Looks like we got everybody on here. So not everybody, but they're streaming in. But anyway, gang, we had Mike on our call last year, and he talked about doing running leads and his schedule. We actually have him on our training website doing his script and kind of really just in his very relaxed way booking appointments, like slamming the appointments. And so our new people are familiar with your face probably, but
very cool.
I guess you're wearing a ball cap or something. I can't remember.
Oh yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I want to bring Mike on again because he and I had a chance to catch up in Atlanta when I was with Andy down there, and Mike was traveling with Andy, and it was really cool to see Mike again. We hung out, and so it just occurred to me, oh man, because right now, I think the big thing that we're talking and promoting is getting on a regular lead ordering schedule and the whole return on investment, et cetera. And so Mike and I were chatting, and so I wanted him to come on and talk, about that whole idea of investment in your business, investment return, the type of leads he's running, and every time Mike comes on here, man, I get so fired up because you guys are learning from one of the best out there in the alliance. Mike's loyal. He's got a great family, Kate and MJ, his son. It's really a joy to see Mike move up in the business. And so Mike, man, why don't you lay it on us, man? Talk
Absolutely,
about
man.
your whole the investment return mentality and kind of how you really developed it into a very consistent production level. And I'll prompt you the questions too, but then, the type of leads you're working, everyone wants to know. It's funny, agents always want to know, what kind of leads are you working? Are they working out? And it's like, you just work. You just set yourself up to work. So go ahead, man.
Absolutely, man. Well, hey, thank you so much for having me on here. I really appreciate it. Appreciate you, bud. And appreciate everyone's time jumping on a call on Thursday evening to, sharpen your skills. So just being on here, guys, you made an amazing decision to do that. So I appreciate that and your time. So I don't take it lightly when you guys do that. But yeah, leads. Oh my gosh. I cannot have a business without having an investment. A business isn't a business unless you're making investments, right? So leads are one of the top things that I'm putting my money into. I do a reoccurring order. So when I'm buying leads, I have it set up where I've got 50 of the instant internet leads through NAA. So I have a reoccurring order, like a GMR set up on that. So 50 every single week. Sometimes I don't get all 50 coming through, but that's where referrals kind of come in and they help out with that ROI as I'm in the field because I'm doing the ERS in every single home. Do I get 10 plus ERS on that list every single time? I don't. But I'm at least getting people on those lists and their referrals, and they're very strong for me to set up that next appointment and go sit down with them. But yeah, man, I'm getting about 50 of those instant internet leads. I think they're like $10, $11 a pop. I'm doing the same script.
Can you explain how
do
you develop it and kind of your expectation on them and all that?
Absolutely. So it's a very cool way how they have it set up where as that lead is generated, an instant internet lead, final expense. So they're filling out a form online, whether it's Facebook, social media, or somewhere on a website where they're clicking and filling in their info, looking for final expense information. And then they're actually putting on a lot of these, Alex, the beneficiary name.
Oh, seriously?
Yeah, dude. And it's
my gosh,
heavy leverage. So
wow.
Yeah, because I've been talking with the vendors that we're using with leads, and I'm like, the coverage amount it's not a huge deal for us as agents because that sometimes can create an expectation for what they think they can get. And you sit down with them, and they just can't get approved for 3, 4, 500,000, whatever it is, and they're doing final expense. But when they put that beneficiary name on there, dude, it's like you just drop on there like, hey, you put your beneficiary, Charity Smith on here. Does that ring a bell? And it just changes the whole conversation. I had a really funny thing too happen to me actually today in the field. So Tuesday, I was making dials, and I'll talk a little bit about my schedule if you want me to dive into that too.
Yeah, for
But
sure.
Tuesday evening, I was making dials. I had this one guy, answer the phone, and he just kept on asking me, what is it? What is it? And you know how you'll get someone where they want to keep asking over and over again and not even let you answer and literally cut you off before you can say anything.
Yeah.
So, anyways, the guy goes like, "What is it?" And I start talking to and he interrupts me after my second word. And then the third time I'm trying to explain to him, same thing. He just interrupts me and he hangs up. So I call that dude right back and I go, "Look, I'm trying to explain what this is, but you keep on interrupting me pretty inappropriately. Now, this program is something that you filled in and you put Dan Smith here as a beneficiary, and it just got quiet on his end. And I go, look, my job's simple, to get you that info and go over it with you. I'll be in the area Thursday. Will you be home at 9? And he goes, yes. Set the appointment. I got there this morning. Like, nicest dude, sold him, approved on the spot. It was just like, I'm like, and he apologized to me too on the phone when I got there. Like, after I helped him out, he's like, hey, I'm sorry, man. I get all these phone calls all the time, I'm like, yeah, no, I get it, man. Absolutely. So, all right, which one are we going to do? And just like,
Wow. Dude, that rocks. I mean, the dude, you totally stopped him in his tracks because he realized you were legit. I didn't know that they actually had that field in those instant internet leads. Wow.
yeah, man, that's a game changer, man. Cause like, now you're coming in, even if they clicked on something else or filled something else out, you don't have all their other basic information. Everyone's got their phone number, their email, their home address. I mean, you can get that by Googling their name online. But when you bring up like one of their grandkids or, someone in their family, that beneficiary name is just like, it switches that conversation to like a whole nother direction and you have that control back. So it's helped out a ton when I'm setting appointments.
That is a game changer, dude. That is a game changer. Wow. So you do 50 a week, and when you don't get enough, you supplement your lead order with bang bang leads, right?
Yep. Yeah. So if I'm not filling up 50 a week from the instant internet leads, then I'll shoot a text over to John, or I'll get on his website, just put an order through of like the 20 or 30 that I need, and those can come through pretty quick as well. So either way, I'm doing all those internet leads, and I love them because they come in so fast, and I get them on my phone consistently, and I just get text messages. So when I hear that ding or I feel that vibrate on my phone, I'm just like, heck yeah. Like, I got some work to get after. I got some opportunities to go out there. And the cool thing is too, man, I'll get them when I'm in the field. So if I get one, like, I've literally gone to someone's house like that same afternoon, they've clicked on it, and I've gone and sat down with them and I've sold them. And they're just like, we were just talking about insurance. And I was just like, and then they're like, and then you show up at our door. I'm like, it's crazy, isn't it?
That's good stuff. So it sounds to me like what you're doing is taking advantage of the instant part, that you call them right away. You don't let them sit around and get stale.
Mm-mm. Yeah, if they're coming in and I'm in the field, like, those are like top priority. So if I get like a no-show or whatever, if I have a little gap in the schedule, whatever, I'm going to my text messages and I'm taking a look at where those the newest ones are at. And, with the ARC's amazing because you can pull up on your CRM and you can go to your leads and you can actually go to the map on where it's at. So I do all, face to face. I'm out in the field. I'll do virtual here or there if I get referrals out of state, or, if it's someone super busy and I know it's someone I'm just going to close easy. But yeah, the map on the ARC is awesome. So it pulls up all the leads and it'll show you, everything about them, where they're located. I did that today in the field. I had, a no-show and then a current client rescheduled. So I was like, I had 2 hours before my next appointment. I'm like, I'm not going to just drive around or whatever. So I pulled up the map on ARC and knocked some doors. I got through to this one house, and this is kind of funny too, man. I've had mean people on the phone lately. But in person, dude, it was so funny. Today I get to this one that I door knock, and dude answers the door, And I was like, hey, Valletta here. And he's like, who? I'm like, Valletta, Miss Bonds. And he's like, oh, yeah, 1 second. So she comes to the door and I just say, hey, Mike, I've been trying to get a hold of you. Your number, 508 is the area code. I know you don't answer those numbers. They're just random when, someone calls you. So I came by to get through these programs for you. And then I just name dropped the beneficiary. And she's like, oh, okay, yeah, come on in. So I sat down with her and do I specifically remember this lady? Like she cussed me out last week over the phone.
Did she?
Yeah, I didn't say anything. But I'm writing up the application. Like she's like, no, I really want this. Like I want that one. At the end of it, she's like, oh my gosh, Mike, like such a blessing. Like you are such a blessing. I've been wanting to get this insurance so bad. I've needed it. My other stuff lapsed. Like I'm so glad you came by today. Like thank you so much. And I'm like, at the end of the meeting, I remembered, I was like, she totally cussed me out on the phone last week, like trying to set up the appointment. And I got to her face to face and she like was the nicest person. So it's so crazy how that works sometimes.
Yeah,
So
it's funny. We conjure up all these things, and agents sometimes take it so personally, and they don't even know you, and they so separate that first conversation like it didn't happen, and it's a whole new, refreshed, relationship. It's so cool. I love it.
yeah.
Great, dude. So you're at is that about $500 a week?
Yeah, right around there, right around 500.
And you wrote in month of January, how much is you paid?
I issued, and this is all final expense, man. I issued 26,000 and some change in January.
Dude, all final expense. So
final
no goodies, no IULs mixed in there. That's just grinding.
That's grinding, man. And this month so far, I just checked my numbers before the call in case you're going to ask. I'm at 17,000 issue paid right now. On February 9th.
Dude, that rocks. So you've got some momentum going on.
Yeah, I got some stuff going at the beginning of the year.
Well, you know what I think it is you jammed your investment, you committed to your investment every week. The other thing too, I love, and this is a subtle thing, but I got to bring it out. When you don't get all your GMR filled, you go right away and get more leads. Where a lot of agents, they don't get their GMR filled. They just go, oh, well, I'll just call my old leads and just, and then hopefully it'll be filled next week. It's like, screw that, man. You are getting more leads to make sure you full up with enough to dial.
Absolutely.
So tell me about okay, so I totally believe in this. Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say one last thing. I never give up on a lead, but I always buy new ones, man.
Yeah, perfect. Glad you said that. So tell me about what happens when you have the power of a lot of leads in terms of you're not a slave to your leads. Your leads are your slaves. In other words, because you have so many, you can manage your calendar. You can manage where you're running because you've got such a variety in different parts of where you run that you can really make your schedule super efficient, as opposed to the guy that gets only a few leads and it forces him to run here. And then, hour and a half away, he's got to run this one. And he becomes a slave to the leads as opposed to the other way. Talk about that dynamic.
Yeah, absolutely. So, as I'm setting up my schedule, so when I'm first dialing through my leads, I'm not specifically saying, okay, I need to just only set up in this, area or only call this zip code today. No, it's like I start with whatever leads at the very top, and wherever I set that one for that next day, I'm going to either pick that, morning, the afternoon, or the evening. And then based off of that first one, I'm going proximity to that with whatever next lead I get on the phone with.
That's right.
So I'm taking a look at, like, while I'm looking at my leads through the Oasis, I pull up, I do everything on my computer. Like I don't print anything out. Everything's on my computer. So I'll copy and paste the address from the lead into Google Maps, and I'll pull it up on Google Maps really quick so I can see, hey, do I need to ask for an apartment number here? Or is this just a house? A 3 flat, whatever. So I can understand, or is it a bogus address? And I'll talk to you a little bit about that too, when I don't get an address on a lead and how I can get the address from them still.
Oh, wow.
Dude, it works.
That's
and
awesome.
it's crazy, but I'll talk about that one too. But but yeah, dude, having so many leads coming through, I can section off the day, like first half, South side, and the second half I'll go over to Indiana. And then I can see like at the end of the day, I can make this one, if it's an evening appointment, or I'll try to shoot like a super early one, like 7:30 or 8 a.m. and just like
Yeah.
sneak that one in. But since I have so many leads, I can set up so many appointments. And then I'm not, like you said, I'm not the slave to like that appointment or these other leads. It's like, hey, I can sit down with someone and I can find out real quick if we're serious and we're getting down to business. And if we're not, it's all right. I got eight more appointments to go to.
Yeah.
So like, I'm like, that's fine. I can get to the next one and get after it.
Yeah, that's awesome. So explain to the new people what a GMR is.
Yeah. So geographic marketing request. So what that is, it's basically a standing order. And what will happen is, you can place the amount of leads that you want in a specific area. I think you can do it by county for most of the areas across the country. And, you can choose, there's direct mail leads, there's the instant internet leads. And what they'll do is they'll just have a consistent, order being placed for you. So I love it because it's literally one less thing that I have to control and worry about. It's not like, each week I'm worrying, oh yeah, I got to make sure though, I got to talk to them to make sure to put this. No, it's like I get the ding, 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 the text messages coming through. I know they're happening, man. So I'm like, that's on autopilot. One less thing for me to worry about. I just got to focus here and just keep writing apps.
That's very cool. Yeah, most areas are by county, and then some of the mega large counties, they're split up into different sections. Like Cook County, I think, is 6 sections. Is that correct?
Yeah, it's like 6 or 8, man. It's huge.
Oh, 8. Wow. Okay, it's even expanded.
Yeah,
So you can be really efficient in what you order, but at the same time, you can diversify. Like you're doing final expense. Do you ever put in a GMR for direct mail, mortgage, or any of the direct mail leads?
No, I've had some direct mail here or there, but no, I've switched out, man. I've done all instant internet.
Yeah.
Honestly, I've found a really good rhythm, and it's like when I've found that rhythm and it just continues to work, I'm like,
Yeah. Don't mess it up, man.
Yeah,
Don't
why
mess it
not?
up. Yeah. Yeah, you got a groove, man. So that's great. I love it. So are you doing the book Monday? You're dialing Monday for Tuesday, Wednesday, dialing Thursday for how do you like vary your schedule with what you need to do?
Yeah, absolutely. So I actually do dials on Sunday evenings. So
Okay.
I start the week with a Sunday evening, and this was actually Kate's idea, my wife, because she was just like, this was last year, like halfway through the year or something. She was like, it doesn't take you very long to like set up your schedule. Like you can get on the phone in a couple hours and your next day is full. So I'm like, that's a pretty good point. She's like, you should just do Sunday night, make your dials for Monday, and then then you get a head start to the week. And I was like, okay, that's pretty smart. So now what I do is kind of like early evening Sunday, I will start dialing maybe 4 or 5 o'clock until I set up the full day on Monday. So I do about 8 to 10. That's usually where I'm trying to schedule 8 to 10 appointments. 8's the minimum. If I get a few extras, I'll go for 10. Tuesday, I'm recruiting in the morning till the afternoon. So I've got all recruiting appointments set up in my schedule for there. And I'm doing about 40 recruiting appointments a week. And then my aim for actual appointments in the field, like selling insurance, is 30. So
Okay.
then on Tuesday, recruit in the morning, Tuesday afternoon to the evening, I do, my dials for Wednesday and Thursday. So I set up Wednesday and Thursday full days. And then Friday is kind of like an overflow. Maybe I get some more referrals to go see, or I'm doing some help with other agents, or basically I'm doing more the rest of my recruiting appointments. And that's kind of my week, dude. And like Saturdays, I'll still go out sometimes. Like this week, I'm going out on Saturday because I'm going to Florida next week.
Yeah.
So I'm traveling. So when I have those travel days, I kind of, throw in that extra day in the field just to kind of put some more gravy on top. So but that's kind of my schedule.
That's so smart to have the buffer day where if you don't make your production requirements, you can goose it up for the last part to make it up. So many just don't think smart like that. I think the other thing too, that your efficiency also comes for the number of leads that you get. Like,
Mm-hmm.
how can you know, it's almost like you're cherry picking the easy appointments, because out of 50 leads, new leads every week, you're going to cherry pick the easy ones, and you're just like bam, 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 boom, your day's done. And it's because you had 50. Imagine if you're trying to do that on 15 leads a week, right?
Oh,
You
not gonna
couldn't do
happen.
it.
No way, dude. No
Yeah.
way.
So out of many leads comes the efficiency. And even though it might be more than someone else is doing that's booking the same appointments, the time Mike is doing it is mega efficient. And that's why he can recruit. That's why he can spend time with his family. That's why he can help his agents. Dude, I love your schedule, bro. That's good
Thanks, man.
stuff.
Dude, it kind, and the way you're talking about leads and stuff, I heard this little story the other day. I listened to a bunch of different audios from a lot of different things, but this one story where this guy gives two groups of people just this big pile of clay, and he goes to the first group and he goes, "Hey, I want you to make one absolutely perfect bowl out of this clay, just one absolutely perfect bowl." Gives it to that group. Now he goes to the other group, that's another pile of clay. And he goes, "I want you to make as many bowls as possible with this clay, as many bowls as you possibly can."
Yeah.
So both groups go. Now, which one do you think actually makes a better bowl?
The one that had many.
One that had many, right, dude? Because they're doing it over and over and over.
That's right.
And that's how this business is. And that's how the leads are. If I have 50 opportunities every single week instead of 5, I'm going to get really good at making that perfect bowl anyway, because I'm doing it over and over again. And that's the way I look at it.
Yeah, that's so true. It's funny when you talk to an agent about their investment, and they're doing like, you know, 250 a week. And it's like, you know, and Andy says, well, you're spending $1,000 on leads. You're just doing it in 4 weeks. And you're getting whatever you're getting over 4 weeks, spending 1,000. What if you did 1,000 a week?
Yep.
What do you think would happen? Right? It's like you're already spending the money. What I think what happens is people trick themselves in, oh, they get all scared that they're putting so much money in 1 week, but you've been doing it over many weeks. Imagine what you'd have if you did it in 1 week, and then all the efficiencies that come from there. It's just funny how that people trick themselves, I guess. They get that fear that, well, what if I don't turn around the business? It's like, oh, come on, man.
Like, what if you do?
What if you do? What if you do? What if you figured it out like everyone else? It's kind of like, look around you. The people are doing it like you are. People are getting results. Why aren't you stepping out, getting the same results? Well, it's either fear or you're just, fear. That's typically why. Or you're not willing to work, right? Because, dude, when you invest 500 a week, you got to be willing to do the work to make that 500 a week happen.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm. For sure. Do you want me to go through a little bit on my script at all, or anything like that? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I want to hear what it sounds like when you're calling instant internet leads.
Absolutely. And I'll tell you too a few pointers on the ones that you might not get the full information on. So that always happens with any type of lead. So when I'm making a dial, you want me to just shoot through it on my own? Just okay. So when I call someone, Joe answers, I go, "Hey, Joe," they answer and go, "Hey," I go, "Hey, Joe, this is Mike. I'm just giving you a call, Benefit Center here in Cook County regarding a package we've got ready to go out to you. Just making sure you're still living at the 123 Main Street here in Chicago, the 60627 zip code. Is that correct?"
Yeah.
I go, "Yeah, great. Perfect." So my job is pretty simple, Alex, is just to get you the info on these new programs and go over it with you. They have me out there tomorrow in the morning about 9-10 o'clock. You gonna be home?
Yeah, we'll be home in the morning.
Perfect. Awesome. So again, my name is Mike, Alex. I'll be the tall, good-looking guy with glasses, so you ain't gonna miss me. I'll be driving a dark gray Explorer. Appreciate you. Look forward to meeting you. I hope you have a great rest of your night. You take care. Thank you. Bye-bye. Click.
See, what I love about how you do that is it's like almost a continuous, you don't give them a chance to argue.
Zero.
And they're probably very passive in the way that, they're listening to you and they just kind of follow you, don't they?
Yeah.
I mean, you are leading them to the appointment.
Finding that time. I'm not trying to convince them that they filled in anything. I'm not talking insurance. I'm not selling insurance. Finding out what time they're home and I'm getting to the door.
It's so quick. I can see why you could do it and fill your day up in 2 hours.
Yeah. And I'll just shoot through them, man. I'll get it set up. And then next thing I know it, I'm at their house the next day anyway.
And now, okay, so everyone asks, but I'm getting this objection, that objection. Like, what kind of pushback are you typically getting?
I'll get, what is this? That's always the question. That's usually the first question and the second question. And usually what I say to them, they'll be like, hey, what is this? I go, this is the updated info for 2023 for Illinois residents in your age group. And my job is simply just to get you that info and go over it with you. So will you be home in the morning tomorrow, like around 10, 11 o'clock? And then if they say again, what is this? I go, it's for this year. So Alex, it's for this year for Illinois residents in your age group. I got your date of birth here, 9/25/82. So they have me out there tomorrow. It's pretty brief. It won't take me that long. I'm already in the area. So will you be home in the afternoon or, what time do you get home from work? I'm barely shooting out the info on the lead unless I really absolutely need to. Those are like my trump cards.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
I do at least the least amount of info as possible in the beginning, because if they come swinging, you heard my first one. I just say, it's the updated info for this year for Illinois residents in your age group. My job is just to get you the info and go over it with you. I bring up nothing about their info, right? And then I reclose. And if they take the appointment, great, I set it up. But if they come back and ask again, that's where I'll start throwing out there like, I got your date of birth here, blah, blah, blah. I don't even ask them if it's right. I skip over it. So I don't need to get their input. I just kind of throw it like I kind of threw it at that guy the other day where I was just like, this is the guy, beneficiary is John Smith. All right, cool. So my job's simple. Like I'm putting them in their place kind of and just closing, man. So the beneficiary is the other thing too. Like on those instant internet leads, a huge leverage. If I get someone smart with me on the phone, I'm like, look, I've got a beneficiary here, John Smith. I'm the one that gets to the info on the programs that could help you out. For him, they have me on the area tomorrow, would in the afternoon work out or the end of the day and just close it.
That's cool. So, in terms of numbers, what's your show rate typically?
I got a pretty good show rate, actually. Like today, I'm trying to think what I had today. Probably pull up my schedule really quick, actually. Let's see what I did. Let's see. First appointment, wrote up $88. Second appointment, didn't have a checking account. Third appointment, he was broke, couldn't afford it. No show, another one for $50 a month, door knock $50 a month right after that. Another one, $65 a month. My 4 o'clock was a no show. And then my 5 o'clock at the end of the day, that was a no show. So I think I had two or three no shows out of, I think, 9 appointments.
Wow, that's really good.
So
that's really good.
Around there.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Awesome. So like when they don't have all the information on the lead, how do you finesse like the address or whatever?
So if I'm giving someone a call, I'm using that same script. I'll be like, Alex answers. I go, hey, Alex, this is Mike. I'm just giving you a call, Benefit Center here in Cook County. I was just making sure your zip code is still the 60622. Is that correct? And they go, yeah. And they said, yeah, okay, perfect. What's your updated address?
Oh, it's 123 Anywhere Street.
Perfect. So my job's pretty simple, Alex. It's just to get you the info on these programs and go over with you. So they have me out in that part of Chicago tomorrow afternoon, like around 2-3 o'clock. Will you be home?
Yeah.
And then I just go from there. Great. Again, my name is Mike. I'm going to be driving a dark gray Explorer. I'm a taller, good looking guy with glasses. So you ain't going to miss me. Appreciate you. I'll see you tomorrow afternoon. You have a great rest of your night. You take care. Thank you. Bye-bye.
I love it. The updated address. The updated.
Yep. whatever I can find on the lead that I know is like probably right, because I'll get the 123 Main Street Chicago, but most of the time that that zip code is correct.
Yeah.
So
Okay. Okay.
I'll throw that out there and I'll just be like, your zip code is the 60626, correct? And they go, yeah. I go, great. What's the updated address? And I just shut up.
Yeah. And whether
I
it's
don't
correct or not, they'll say, well, no, it's this. And then you do the updated address in there. Yeah,
Yep.
that's cool, dude. I love it. I love it.
And then same thing
Wow.
with apartments too. So like I
Oh
told you,
yeah.
when I'm calling leads or when I'm calling, before I make that dial, I Google Map the address. And if I see if it's like a high rise or something, because I'm in Chicago, man, I get a lot of high
Yeah.
rises or senior
Yeah.
buildings, or even if it's like a three flat, like a 3-story place,
Yeah.
um, that's important info to know. So after I confirm the address with them, and I do the full address with the zip, and I go, "Is that correct?" And they go, "Yeah." Then I ask them, "What apartment is it?"
Wow.
And
Okay.
they feed it 302. Okay, great. So then I don't have to be like, I don't know, just not having that information. And, I have a little bit of info I'm showing them. It's like I'm
Yeah.
lifting my cards a little bit.
Yeah.
And then I ask the question that I really need to know. And then I'm like, great, done.
Wow, that's cool. So what you ever run into where I don't know, they don't have like gated communities that, where you're working probably. But like apartment buildings where you have to buzz in.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll get like, there's not really gated communities in Chicago, but we do have like buildings that will have the buzzers, like the intercom out front. And then,
Yeah.
yeah, there's a gate to get into that building. Or, if it's a high rise, you have to buzz in and all that. I mean, it's are you asking like if I'm door knocking or if it's like just if I'm getting
But
into
just
that
in general.
apartment?
Yeah, just in general, like when you encounter a situation where you have to go into an apartment building, it's simply not a big deal, right?
Yeah, no, it really isn't. I mean, you're there for your meeting and, they filled out whatever they filled out for you to sit down with them. So, when I go into a building, I act like I'm totally supposed to be there because I
Yeah.
am.
Right.
And I'll sign in whatever I need to sign in. They need to see my ID. I show them my ID and they ask me what I'm there for. I'm like, I'm going to get through some insurance programs or I'm going to get through some programs for them. The people at the front desk usually are like, okay, whatever, just
Yeah.
go.
Yeah. Right. Right.
So,
Absolutely.
but yeah, not too many of those we really get that often here in Chicago.
Yeah. That's cool. So when you got started, how long did it take you to finally groove into what was working for you? Like, we got a lot of new people we're bringing on, and a lot of them are green actually to the insurance industry.
Mm.
Um, what would you suggest for them to kind of find their way?
Do as many appointments as you can. Get in front of people as much as you can. It's seriously when we're talking about leads and their opportunities, and it's like, if you're trying to hit that bullseye on that target, you can do it with one dart or you can do it with 100 darts. And, how you think you're going to get better with 100 darts compared to one. So when I first got into this business, I was in sales before. I did pharmaceutical sales for a while and I got my license and I worked in the moonlight. And, when you're working with a very tight schedule already, I had to be pretty surgical with my time on
Yeah.
where I was spending it. And, I was taking my lunch hour to learn how to present and, the transition statements in the ATM from Brant Swindell's video. And,
Yeah.
it was literally just having that earpiece in, just listening to it over and over again, and then just getting out and sitting down with people and getting the marbles out of my mouth, so to speak. So I would just mess up. I would just mess up as much as possible. But you do things over and over again. You're just like with the clay I was talking about earlier. I wasn't trying to make one perfect pot and one perfect presentation. It was like, I'm going to do this 100 times as fast as possible. And I know I'm going to get better at it because I'm going to get really tired of sucking. And so I can figure that out really quick by doing, 10 appointments as fast as possible and see where I'm not doing well and how I can fix it. And then looking up, going to my mentor, my upline, someone that, I know and trust that, has been there, done that, that can point me in the right direction.
Right. I mean, imagine how many passing drills you've done in your life and you think you're a pro, but you still got to practice, passing the ball and, your hitting drills. I mean, it's all about
Yep.
drills. Being an athlete like you are, you already came into the business with that mentality of, repetition and drilling and discipline and doing everything you needed to do. I kind of liken it to, because like off season. So if you're not working out the off season, your competition is, right? And you have to, when you're going out there working out, you have to believe that your competition is doing the same thing. And how dare you not keep up with what they're probably doing? And whoever works the hardest wins, right? And it's like that in this business, isn't it?
Yeah, no, absolutely, man. And today was a rainy day in Chicago, and I love it when it rains or when it snows real hard because I know
They're home, aren't they?
everyone is home,
That's
man.
right.
Like when I was leaving this morning, I was like 100% chance of rain. I was like 100% people are going to be home. And I was just like, heck yeah. And then I was kind of funny. I forgot my umbrella today too. I had it in my car, brought it up after I let the dog out, and I would literally drove out and I was just like, I forgot my umbrella on probably the only day that it's rained in months. And I'm like, what? It's more of an excuse for them to let me in the house because I'm
That's
outside.
right. That's right. They feel sorry for you.
Yeah, right. Exactly. So it's like, whatever.
Oh man, that's such great advice, dude. I love it. You know, the thing about being in sales like we are, not every week is a great week, not every week's a bad week. How do you handle the ups and downs of 100% commission sales?
Absolutely. Um, when the times are really good, I push harder because I know that the times aren't always going to stay good. I don't lax. So like right now, like I've got some really good rhythm in the beginning of the year. And, like I said, this afternoon. So I had a couple hours open. I had someone reschedule on me. One of the appointments was just a quick in and out. I could have gone and grabbed a coffee, chilled, checked out another store or something in Chicago. I could have done that for a couple hours this afternoon. I mean, I've issued some decent business so far and I would have been fine. But I look at it as, okay, these hours that are open right now, if I don't go out and make more sales, if I don't go out and write up more apps, those times when I'm not getting all those sales, that's going to be that time where it's going to affect me more. So I can use the fire. I can use it when the iron's hot right now. And I'm going to keep pressing that harder and harder and harder because I know it's really hot right now. So those times that come where, hey, maybe I don't sell every single person that day or whatever, I just get a string of it. Hey, I know that before when I had the opportunity, I didn't let up.
You didn't let up. Exactly. It would have been easy for you to say, oh, well, I'm already at 17,000, as of February 9th. I mean, come on, man. I'll just take a little bit of a break because I deserve a break. How many agents say that to themselves and all of a sudden they find themselves in a hole because they didn't take advantage of the momentum, right? Nothing worse than killing your own momentum when you have it. Isn't that just like in volleyball or like you're in a role, man, on a team and you're up and you just can't let up because they will come back, right?
Yep. Exactly. There's always going to be someone trying to pull you down, pull you back. You're going to get in front of the people that are going to be jerks, the people that are negative, the ones that slam the door on your face. Hey, I got the door slammed on my face today too. It's going to happen for sure. And it's just like, okay, some will, some won't. So what?
Yeah.
You get to the next one.
Yeah, absolutely. That is so cool. Does anyone have any questions for Mike? I mean, of course, we've been monopolizing everything, but who's got questions for Mike? You can unmute.
Hey, Mike, I have a few questions. That's okay.
Yeah, absolutely. What's up?
So good. So yeah, I've been talking with Alex almost all week almost. So I feel like all of this is not all of it, but it's a little. He's giving me a little bit of a pep talk. But no. So mine. What I'm realizing for me because I'm coming in part time, right? So I totally get and I understand, maximizing the effort, it's greater efficiency, especially with the amount of leads that we need to buy. And I understand investing in yourself. but I'm part-time. So
Mhm.
what is some coaching or guidance you guys can give me? What I'm thinking is to instead of trying to hit that one or two appointments every evening, because I work all week, right? It's just a stack of Saturday. I think that's my next kind of move,
Mhm.
because making calls Monday to schedule 2 or 3 appointments on a Tuesday, I'm getting no-showed, and it's frustrating, right? Versus being able to stack it up, but like you have a full day.
Mhm.
So any advice you have?
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, if you have like a Saturday or Sunday to go run business where you have a full day, I
Mhm.
mean that's what I did when I was doing the pharmaceutical sales and I was working during the week. I would make my dials like Friday evening or even Thursday evening to set up Saturday if I didn't have enough time on Friday to do it. Knowing your numbers. And is it Lily? Is that your name?
Yes. Mhm.
So Lily, knowing your numbers is extremely important, and it's going to really help you be more effective with your schedule, especially right now when you're doing this part time, because you'll be able to understand how many hours it's going to take you to set X amount of appointments. So, tracking your numbers, how many dials you're doing in an hour, how many people you get on the phone with, and then how many appointments you set with those people. It'll really help you understand like how many hours you need to cut out on Friday to set up your Saturday to be a full day. Does that make
Right.
sense? You know what I mean?
No, it does. That's completely. I'm just I guess I'm guesstimating also how many leads I should be going for, because you also don't want to have too many, because if I have too many leads, right, then and I can't get to them all, that's not instant, and that's not good either. So I think there's that that fine line. So
To be
I don't know.
honest with you, it's gonna be good if you have too many leads.
Right, that's what I'm
Honestly.
thinking too.
It's
I
really
know.
good to have too many leads, and that's a mindset shift a little bit too, because you're
Totally.
like, oh, you're spending this money, like, oh, I got to get to these
Right. So it's
people.
not a waste. It's not wasted. Is what you're
Yeah,
saying.
that's fire under your butt to get after it more. You want to get motivated, buy more leads, and you're going to be real motivated because you're going to be like, huh, yeah, I gotta get out there and go sell some insurance. I gotta go make this. So,
Right.
too many leads. It sounds like an amazing opportunity.
All right. So too many leads is not a thing, is what you're telling me. So
Exactly.
that I won't repeat that. So yeah,
Thank
I was
you.
out. I did, a 25-30 minute drive getting no-showed is not a big deal. But I was like, I booked a couple in Richmond, which is about 2 hours from me last weekend, and
Okay.
being no-showed after driving that far, it's like, ugh. That was tough. And again, Alice had asked that of me, but I just wanted to go do it. And then, calling the others, but not getting any answers was super frustrating. But again, I only had 5 or 6 leads, so I didn't have a bunch of leads to work
Right.
with. So I just, having
Yeah,
more is gonna just give me more opportunity. I
Yeah,
think.
if you have an area that you're going to go run a few appointments, always have backup.
Right.
So like as I'm getting through my dials, this is what I do to help with my backup on my door knocks. So I'm getting through my leads. I make my phone calls. Like I told you, Lily, I Google Map the address. So
Mhm.
as I'm doing that and I'm setting up my appointments, when I'm going through my leads and I see another lead that just didn't answer, but it's in that same area, I throw it on my schedule and I put DK in the beginning of it. So I know it's a door knock, and I put it for the second half of that hour. So if I have an appointment at 9 o'clock that's set, like I'm putting at 9:30 a door knock that's in that same area. So, if I get done early or if I get a no-show, like I'm going directly to that door knock before my next appointment. So I've got like the primary schedule for me, and then I got that backup secondary schedule that's all door knocks, and it just sets me up so like I don't have that any breaks or the time of like not having something to go do. And since it's on my schedule as a door knock, I already verified the address. I put it on my schedule for a reason. I know it's a good address, so I don't have to think at all in the field. I'm just going to the
Oh
next.
my gosh, dude, that freaking rocks.
Works, man.
It does.
That
It does. And I
awesome.
totally should have went in. I don't think I'm confident enough yet for a door knock, but I'm gonna get there. I've gotten cursed out, I've gotten hung up on, and it's getting easier, like you said. And I'm looking forward to having the door shut on my face. But we'll
Listen to
I'll work towards
audios.
that.
Lily, there's a really, really solid audio, Megan Wood door knocking.
Mhm.
Alex, I'm sure you've got some
Yes,
awesome
I
training
do.
on door knocks.
Yep.
Use your car as a university on wheels. You're going to be driving to go to places. Just listen to those audios. And what I did for door knocks, like I just listened to Megan Wood over and over and over and over again. And I literally just started saying those exact words. Um, Door knocks now, I don't show them anything when I get to the door. Like I don't have a lead. I don't have anything printed out. I just literally tell them I've been trying to get a hold of them and I drop their area code. So their 708 number. I've been trying to get a hold of you, your 708 number. I know you're not going to answer because it's just a random number. Like I'm the same way too. So I get it. So it's the info on the different programs, for residents in your age group. It's just going to take me a few minutes. Can we sit down? You got a few minutes? And I just kind of go like that. And if they give me a little pushback, Lily, these instant internet leads are really great. They'll give you the beneficiary too, and I'll just drop the
Right.
beneficiary. And once I say that name, there's like a little shift. But if they say, yeah, come on in, or I got a few minutes, like the flip, I like flip that switch and I'm right into as if I set up the appointment. I'm stepping in the house like it's another just start from scratch appointment, the rapport, transition into the ATM, and then the basics. So, but yeah, just knock them. You once you get out there and you start doing it, it's like it's one of those things where every once in a while I still get into the door. I get that little nervousness for sure
Yeah.
still.
Yeah.
Right.
And I think just going through it and doing it still is just like gives you that the confidence. And after you do it over and over again, it'll definitely help. But yeah, just definitely have backup in your schedule no matter what. Always have backup. You never know.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Appreciate
Thanks for the questions.
Hey, Mike, you still there? This is Steve in
Yeah,
Houston.
absolutely.
Got a
How you doing, Steve?
quick question for you here.
Sure.
Is there a bad time during the day, or is there a good time during the day to call people? I don't know. I guess all these Texans are busted or something here. They're poor, so they're all working, so they're not home when I call. So do you call like at 5 or 6 or a different time?
So great question. So it kind of depends on a few things. So like I'm doing final expense leads. So most of the clients that I'm calling, maybe they're 50s, 60s, and 70s.
Right.
I've kind of noticed if I'm calling people that are like in their 60s and 70s, almost any hour in the day is going to work out because they might be retired already and just at home. If I'm calling some younger people, especially some like referrals, I don't know if I kind of hear myself twice. Good. Okay, there it is. If I'm calling referrals and I notice like, it's the daughters or the grandkids of the leads, I'm usually waiting a little bit later on in the day because I kind of have an idea that they might be working throughout the day. So then I'll try to call those maybe after 5 or so, just figuring, hey, they might be doing a day job and I just got to call them a little bit later. So, I mean, as you get through your leads, it could be checking out, how old they are, maybe calling a little bit later, or just call them all a little bit later. And then you can just throw them all in a stack and just call through those leads. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, well, it was a question for me because sometimes you'll get them on the phone and it's 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and other times you can't get hold of anybody, and I didn't know, is it a bad time to call? Maybe a later time would be better, but I think it's pretty much just depends on the person, the lead you're calling. I had a lady today. I called her. She answered the phone. I started talking to her and everything. And about 5 minutes into the conversation, she said, "You know what? I'm not interested," and just hangs up the phone. And I said, "What the hell here?" I said, "You ain't hanging up on me." I called her right back. And I said, "Ma'am, hi." we were just talking this information. You requested this information. That's why I'm calling you. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. She apologized like for 10 minutes that she hung up on me, made an appointment, and so I've got to go see her on Monday here. But you just have to be a little tough with them sometimes here to get your appointments. And I think maybe a little later time to call them is a better time during the day.
And activity is always gonna, trump
Yeah.
that type of stuff too. As long as you're putting in the dials, if you're dialing away through your leads, I mean, you can easily get 30 dials in an hour. So it's going to be the law of large numbers. So, the numbers will work themselves out if you're putting the numbers in. So as long as you're dialing away in those hours that you set for your dials, it doesn't have to be as complicated as you may think. It's just a matter of doing the dials and getting the results out of it.
How do you count dials? If I dial 10 people and I dial each one 3 times, is that 30 dials or is that 10 dials?
Yeah, that's absolutely correct. So there's an activity sheet if you haven't seen it before. NAAuniversity.com. We should have that in the resource section. You can download that. There's an activity book you can purchase on the alliancestore.com. Or just a notebook, dude, and literally just do the tallies for your, dials, right?
I was cheating myself then because I called one that I called 3 times as one dial. So
okay,
yeah,
you can do 3. You can do 3. So you can do the three tallies.
All right.
So
all right, appreciate it.
Absolutely, man. Thanks for the question.
Mm-hmm.
Who else?
Yeah, I got a question. Thank you for tuning in with us tonight, Mike. I actually have watched your video. Probably was 2 weeks. I'm not sure, a while ago.
Okay.
I start laughing when another guest here start saying about because you almost got shot. It's very risky. It's good to have a lot of alert all the time. But I have your script over here. Is this your script works at every lead? Is this final expense specifically for bang leads, or you can do this for instant internet leads as well?
I do it for all.
A little sleepy today. Go ahead.
Oh, it's okay. Yeah, no worries, man. Appreciate you and your question. Yeah, I do it for all types of leads. So bang, instant internet. It's the same thing. I do that on the direct mail leads too. I don't get a ton of those, but when I do, I'm doing the exact same script for all of them. But yeah, I'm kind of keeping it uniform when I'm doing it. So that way I can just kind of get really good at it because I'm just doing the same thing over and over again. And then I don't really have to like worry or think about, all right, I got to switch it up for this one or switch it up for this type. I can just, hey, here's the name. There's the address. There's the phone number. Cool. There's my schedule. I got this slot, this slot, this slot. I'm setting them up here. If he doesn't answer, I'm going to the next one.
Gotcha. And you're exclusively doing final expense. That's what you like to do?
Yeah, I do final expense, and then it kind of just changes into a bunch of different things, man. I'll sit down with someone, like today I sat down with this lady and she was just like, I did final expense for her, whole life policy, and she's got 5 other kids that she wants me to do policies for. So it's like, I'm sitting down with them, it turns into just a general life insurance sale, or if they've got little kids and, I start talking to them about IULs, like I'll do IULs for the kids, or they've got a 401k or, money in the bank, savings, CDs, whatever. I'm transitioning into doing the appointment with Chris for the annuities. But yeah, the leads are mainly targeted, I think, final expense. And that's mainly the stuff that I, kind of introduce to them and then kind of figure out from there what to do.
Awesome. Do you mind if I read it quick to you? Do you mind if I read it to you quick? Read it to you. The script.
Oh, read your script?
Read your script to you.
Oh, read my script?
Hold on. Dude. Just do what Mike's doing.
Okay,
Mimic
yes, sir.
what Mike's doing.
Yes,
He doesn't need to listen to you
Oh, okay.
your
Okay. Yeah,
script
I think I
because
have
you're
it, yeah.
brand new and you haven't.
Right.
You've booked some appointments and you're rocking, but we have to listen to Mike. Okay, does that make sense?
Oh yeah, of
People are on this
course.
call
Yeah,
to listen to Mike
hey,
Morice. They're
respect.
not wanting to
Hey,
listen to
all the
you.
respect. That's for
Okay.
sure.
Anybody else got any questions? Because it's 10
Thank you,
o'clock.
Mike. Appreciate you.
One
Absolutely,
more
Steve. Thanks, man.
question. Just one more.
Hey, Mike, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. How you doing,
Hey,
Richard?
this is Richard Calvin. The instant internet leads, maybe I missed it because I was like 5 minutes late. Are you getting those off the Integrity Lead Center? Because I don't see them on my CRM.
Yeah, I do that through Ashland and those guys. I know that they kind of set it up. So I would set up a meeting with them and chat and kind of see what they can get set up for you and what's available. But yeah, I talk with them, lead performance team, and they get it together.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Cool. Well, thanks everybody for plugging in. Mike, you rock. You are the man, the
Thanks,
myth,
dude.
the legend. And again, man, I so appreciate you serving our team the way you have over the years, really. And man, I always love listening to you, dude. So rock on, man. Thanks everybody for plugging in. Dude, you rock, man.
Thanks a lot, man. Appreciate you guys. Have a great night. See ya.
All right.